Chapter 2431, I Have to Head Back, 3. Before Qiaonan was married to Zai Sheng, the old neighbors in the northern quad had nothing good to say about her. Everyone was using her as a negative example to discipline their children. Although Qiaonan didn't mind them gossiping about her, she didn't accept everyone's apology. She only picked a few families in the neighborhood. Those that spoke badly about Qiaonan knew that her return had nothing to do with them. Therefore, when they heard about Qiaonan's return, there was only jealousy and envy. On the other hand, those that were on good terms with her were looking forward to her return. As she expected, these families welcomed her with all they had when Qiaonan showed up with gifts. It was as if Qiaonan was marrying into their families, and some even invited Zai Sheng to visit next time. Of course, Qiaonan didn't agree to those requests as she simply left after dropping off her presents. There were quite a number of families to visit, and she finally knocked on the Qiao family's door with some supplements in hand after some time. Ding Ji had been waiting for Qiaonan. In fact, she had been standing behind the gate to listen to Qiaonan speaking to the neighbors. Although it had been a year, Ding Ji still noticed that Qiaonan chose to visit those that brought her to the hospital. In a sense, Qiaonan was staying in contact with these neighbors for the sake of Ding Ji. However, that wasn't enough to satisfy her. She was Qiaonan's biological mother, and there was no way Qiaonan could enjoy what she had without her. It was only right for Qiaonan to be thanking these neighbors on her behalf. Since Qiaonan was unfilial and left her alone, she'd better build connections with the neighbors so that there would be someone to take care of her in the future. Supposedly, Ding Ji should be the priority, but it seemed like Qiaonan only visited her after going around the neighborhood. Ding Ji figured that Qiaonan was just a disrespectful child that forgot her roots. After waiting for a long time, Qiaonan finally knocked on the door. Ding Ji raised her chin and snorted. All she had to do was push the door open, but would she really let Qiaonan come in that easily? No way, she stayed silent behind the gate. However, Qiaonan was not who she used to be. She wouldn't believe that Ding Ji didn't know about her coming back and visiting the neighbors. She was certain that Ding Ji had been waiting for her, and there was no way she would miss her knocking. Whatever Ding Ji had in mind, Qiaonan was too tired to entertain her. She simply dropped the gifts on the ground as she turned to the neighbor that she was with. "Uncle Lin, it seems like my mother isn't home. If she's home, she might be asleep at the moment. I'll leave the gifts here. Please inform her about it when she's up. Since I have 3 kids at home who need to be taken care of, I'll be on my way." Chapter 2432, I Have to Head Back, 4. She wasn't here to see Ding Ji. She was here to protect the image of the Zai family. If she was the only one to be blamed for being unfilial, Qiaonan would have cut ties with Ding Ji long ago. She could be filial to anyone else, but Ding Ji didn't deserve it. Qiaonan knew the consequences of letting Ding Ji have it her way. Ding Ji would eat her alive as she would always be greedy for more. She was unlikable in every way. "Sure. I'm sure no one in this neighborhood would steal it. If you are worried, you can leave the gift with me, and I'll pass it to your mother when I see her around." Uncle Lin was nice to Qiaonan, but he despised Ding Ji. Everyone knew that Ding Ji just went to look for Qiaonan. It was obvious that Ding Ji was at home and wide awake. Even if Ding Ji was foolish, it was selfish of her to only see Qiaonan as a daughter after she was married into another family. She had never considered Qiaonan's feelings and only sought benefits for herself. Ding Ji was really one of a kind in the neighborhood. Otherwise, the neighborhood's name would be ruined. Ding Ji wanted to show off using Qiaonan, but no one else was playing the game with her. Everyone favored Qiaonan over Ding Ji in the past. These days, Ding Ji had only become worse, so the neighbors wouldn't watch Qiaonan getting bullied by Ding Ji. Since Ding Ji was asking for it, the old neighbor didn't mind embarrassing her. "Thank you, Uncle Linear." As Uncle Lin was cooperative, Qiaonan wanted to take the chance to leave and headed for Uncle Lin's house. Before Qiaonan could step away, the Qiao family's gate was pushed open. "I'm home. Come in. Don't bother the neighbors." This damn brat really knew how to get on her nerves. Why couldn't her daughter just comfort her when she's angry? Ding Ji could only blame her bad luck for giving birth to a daughter like this. However, she believed strongly in karma. Since so many people were in debt to her, she believed that there would be payback in her next life. Uncle Lin snorted at Ding Ji, who glared at him. She was a horrible mother, yet she didn't allow anyone to help Qiaonan. How could someone be so shameless? Forget it. It was impossible to talk sense into someone like Ding Ji. Since Ding Ji let Qiaonan into the house, Uncle Lin could only leave after shutting the door. However, he was still worried about Qiaonan. Based on his understanding of Ding Ji, the conversation between Qiaonan and Ding Ji would definitely not end well. Chapter 2433, What's Wrong with Me as a Mother, 1. If Ding Ji wanted to bully Qiaonan again, Uncle Lin felt like he had the responsibility to help Qiaonan out. "Have a seat." The only reason Ding Ji felt the need to open the gate was that Qiaonan was about to bring her gifts to the neighbor's house. Now that the mother and daughter were the only ones in the house, Ding Ji had hatred and scorn written all over her face. No need for that. Ding Ji wanted her to have a seat despite her hatred toward Qiaonan. However, Qiaonan had no intention of staying. "These things are for you. Since I've given you an allowance every month without fail, I won't be passing you any cash this time. The kids are waiting for me to cook for them, so I shall leave." Did she really think that they could sit down and have a nice chat like a normal family? If that was really what Ding Ji thought, Qiaonan had to say that Ding Ji had completely lost her conscience. Qiaonan had heard about the Chen family putting Chen Feng under Qiao Zijin's care. Therefore, she wasn't surprised to see Ding Ji living alone. She knew that Qiao Zijin could move in with her son as she wanted to live in a bigger house. Ding Ji didn't invite Qiaonan in to listen to her story. She couldn't accept the fact that Qiaonan wouldn't give her a single extra yuan apart from the worthless gifts she brought. "I am your mother, and we have not met for more than a year. Is this how you should be treating me? Qiaonan, don't forget that you are a mother as well. I have 2 children, and you have 3. Are you not afraid that your kids will treat you the same way that you are treating me? You'd better think carefully before you act." She was confident that the children were Qiaonan's weakness. She was a perfect representation of Qiaonan's future, as the children would definitely be learning from Qiaonan's actions. Ditching the worthless elders aside was an easy thing to do in the first place. Now that Qiaonan was showing them the ways, the children would certainly grow up to act just like her. "Yes, I do have 3 kids, and how they treat me in the future has nothing to do with you. I will gladly accept my fate, so you don't have to worry about me. Also, I will never allow Qiao Zijin and Qiaonan's story to be replayed by my children." Ding Ji would only use others as excuses instead of reflecting on her own action. Luckily, Qiaonan was used to Ding Ji's selfish actions, and she no longer felt anger or disappointment. "I'm leaving." "Wait." Ding Ji stopped Qiaonan. "What about your father? You can leave, and you can even stop giving me money as long as you tell me where your father is. I can promise you that I won't let him know about you telling me his information." Ding Ji hated Qiao Zijin, and they lived together for a year without much interaction. After Qiao Zijin moved out without a word, Ding Ji was lonely and afraid. The food poisoning incident scared Ding Ji. On the first night that Qiao Zijin left, Ding Ji couldn't help but imagine what would happen if she fell sick again. When Qiao Zijin was with her, she could at least notice if something happened to her. Now that she was the only one left, who's going to take care of her if the same thing were to happen? Would her body only be found after it rotted in the house? Ding Ji didn't want to die such horrible death. She knew that Qiaonan would pay for her medical fees anyway, so she was planning to live a long life. However, Ding Ji didn't want to live with Qiao Zijin. The person she missed the most in the past few years was definitely Xiao Dongliang. She wanted to be with Xiao Dongliang, and she believed that he would take care of her if anything happened. Compared to Xiao Zijin, Xiao Dongliang was much more trustworthy. Is that what you want from me? Xiao Nan snorted. She couldn't believe that Ding Ji was still so ignorant after Xiao Zijin left. I'm sorry, but I have to respect my father's decision. If he were willing to live with you, I wouldn't stop you from getting back together. However, I will not sell him out without his permission to please you. By the way, don't you understand by now that I am in control of the money? If I refuse to give you an allowance, there is nothing you can say to change my mind. Also, I have to thank you and Xiao Zijin for leaving so much evidence behind. The Zai family does care about its image, but that image would only be affected if I were at fault. If you push me beyond my limits, I will let everyone know that there is a mother like you living in this world. Ding Ji wanted to rebut. So what? I am still the one that raised you. However, recalling the news articles a few years back, Ding Ji didn't have the confidence to fight back. In fact, she couldn't find a reason to demand anything from Xiao Nan. Since Ding Ji had nothing to say, Xiao Nan was going to take the chance to leave. Wait a minute. Could you just stay and have a chat with me? Chapter 2434, What's Wrong with Me as a Mother, 2. After Xiao Zijin left, Ding Ji had no one to talk to. She finally understood how painful it was to be alone. She wanted to befriend the neighbors, but the latter wanted no business with Ding Ji. Even if Ding Ji joined their gatherings, she could only listen from afar as she had no chance to join the conversations. It hadn't been that long since Xiao Zijin's departure, but Ding Ji knew that she couldn't bear such loneliness for much longer. She didn't feel alive. She had enough money to live a healthy life without working, so she should have been enjoying her retirement. However, Ding Ji knew that she was unhappy about the way she lived. Throughout her deserted days, she spent all her timing wondering how she ended up this way. She felt like someone without a family, but was she? She was not. She had a husband, 2 daughters, and 4 grandchildren. There should have been no way that she ended up this way. Could she blame it on others? If she were the good guy in this story, why was she the only one suffering? Xiao Dongliang had not visited her for 2 years. In fact, he had never even given her a call. Xiao Dongliang was treating her like she was dead. Xiao Zijin became the only one that would speak to her in the family. However, they had nothing nice to say to each other as they would quarrel over the smallest of problems. Did she not have enough money? She had enough. Yet, she would fight Xiao Zijin over her spending all the time. Xiao Zijin was the daughter that Ding Ji favored for 40 years. Why did she have to draw a clear line when it came to money? Most importantly, Xiao Zijin was someone that Ding Ji gave everything to. Ding Ji pondered about this every day, but she could never get an answer. At this moment, all that she thought about was to keep Xiao Nan here. After all, she finally had someone to talk to. Even if they ended up fighting, she didn't want Xiao Nan to leave. Talk to me. Ding Ji dropped her pride. She didn't ask for anything materialistic, all she wanted was for Xiao Nan to chat with her. Xiao Nan was surprised to hear that and scanned Ding Ji's expression in suspicion. It didn't seem like something that Ding Ji would ever say. Although Xiao Nan was no longer vulnerable to Ding Ji's threats, she didn't want to embarrass her unnecessarily. On top of that, Xiao Nan never really had a chance to have a chat with Ding Ji. The only memory of Ding Ji she had was from getting a harsh scolding or being waved off. Xiao Nan decided to stay, but she had nothing to say. Ding Ji was the same. Although she was the one that wanted Xiao Nan to stay, she couldn't find a topic to have a meaningful conversation with Xiao Nan. It was awkward as the pair stared blankly at each other. It was easy to say that 2 complete strangers would have done better than them at breaking the ice. After about 3 minutes, Ding Ji let out a sigh. Are your children 2 years old now? She didn't like the children enough to remember their age. The only reason that she could recall the kids' age was thanks to Xiao Dongliang. Ding Jiyi didn't like Xiao Nan, so she paid no attention to her children. However, it wasn't the case for Xiao Dongliang. Traditionally, Ding Jiyi should have been taking care of the newborn babies as Xiao Nan recovered from the childbearing. However, Xiao Nan didn't have such privilege. Xiao Dongliang was a man, so she couldn't look after Xiao Nan at her bedside. Unlike Ding Jiyi, of course, he was willing to help out wherever he could in other matters. Xiao Dongliang was still living with Ding Jiyi when Xiao Nan gave birth to the children. When Xiao Dongliang was home, the only thing he would talk about was the kids. Therefore, like it or not, Ding Jiyi did remember certain things about the children. This was a good time to put her memory to good use. Ding Jiyi was relieved that she found a topic to talk about. If she couldn't start a conversation, she guessed that Xiao Nan would be leaving very soon. She didn't forget what Xiao Nan said to the neighbor when she was about to leave. The children were only 2 years old, so it made sense that Xiao Nan would leave to look after the kids. Even if Xiao Nan were to leave anyway, it would look foolish to not say a word for such a long time. Yes, they are too. Xiao Nan looked indifferent. It didn't matter to her if Ding Jiyi genuinely cared about the kids, so she wasn't interested in Ding Jiyi's true purpose. I've heard that kids nowadays start school at a really young age. What about your children? Are they going to school? She had also heard that early education cost a fortune, and a year of school fees was enough to support a college student. Ding Jiyi felt her heart clench. Her family saved every cent they could to send Xiao Zijin to university. Chapter 2435, What's Wrong with Me as a Mother, 3. Who knew that raising a child cost so much money now? It was much more difficult than when their family was providing for a university student back then. Furthermore, their family only provided for a university student. Xiao Nan had to raise 3 children at once. The amount of money that had to be spent could scare one to their death. As such, Ding Jiyi couldn't help but rejoice that she was born at the right time. She didn't choose to become a mother at such a perverted time. If she were to raise children like Xiao Nan did, even if there was only one Xiao Zijin, based on her and Xiao Dongliang's ability to earn money, they didn't need to think about grooming her, let alone that they had 2 children. However, Xiao Nan was the Zai family's daughter-in-law. The Zai family didn't have to rely on Xiao Nan to fork out the money to provide for the children, right? Furthermore, didn't Xiao Nan receive a huge sum of inheritance more than a year ago? With this sum of inheritance, it should be easy for Xiao Nan to do things that she couldn't. That was true. Otherwise, how would Xiao Nan have the confidence to raise 3 children at once? She even looked as if she was very willing to spend a lot of money on them. Yes. They attended school together. Xiao Nan's replies were simple. It was obvious she didn't want to talk too much to Ding Jiyi. Ding Jiyi laughed. It's good that they attend school earlier. That way, they can have a stronger foundation than the children of other families and lead an easier life when in school later. Isn't there a famous saying now that one's children can't lose at the starting line? Your dad likes your 3 children a lot, so you have to spend more time and effort grooming them. Don't disappoint him. If the 3 children became outstanding, old Xiao would definitely be very happy. Xiao Nan was speechless for a while. She was the 3 children's biological mother. She wasn't a capricious mother like Ding Jiyi. She had given birth to all 3 children and she doted on and loved all of them. She would never favor one over the other and let them suffer unfair treatment. Regardless of if it was for money or love, Xiao Nan would never treat her children harshly. On the contrary, it was precisely because she had given birth to triplets that Xiao Nan would do all she could to make the 3 children grow up healthily in a family full of love and happiness. She would make sure that all 3 children were loved. How would she let 1 or 2 children suffer material loss? Relying on Zhu Jinqi, her godfather, Xiao Nan wasn't lacking anything now. Naturally, she wasn't lacking money the most. Indeed, Ding Jiyi's words sounded like she was caring about the 3 children. However, to Jiao Nan, she inevitably felt that they were sarcastic. As a mother who had 2 daughters but didn't educate them well, how was Ding Jiyi qualified to remind her about her stand? Forget it. Talk was cheap. Ding Jiyi couldn't do it herself, yet she always wanted others to meet her high expectations. Compared to Ding Jiyi's other problems, this wasn't really considered a problem anymore. Don't worry. My parents-in-law love the 3 children. They find them to be more valuable than their own son and daughter. What I do isn't important. What's important is that my parents-in-law are the kind of people who would definitely not make the 3 children suffer. Really, based on how much Zai Yayawai and Miaojing valued the 3 children, even if Jiao Nan was really the second Ding Jiyi and had a chance to mistreat the 3 children, Zai Yayawai and Miaojing would have long slapped her aside. Thankfully, Jiao Nan was a good mother who loved her children. Ever since Jiao Nan gave birth to the triplets, the atmosphere of the Zai family had been getting better every day. The triplets grew up in such a happy family and were extremely blessed. Ding Jiyi's words seemed a little insincere and lacking concern. It was as if she was finding things to say because she didn't have anything else to say, which was meaningless. Didn't the 3 children return to Pingcheng with you? I'm their grandmother, after all. Can you let me meet them? If she had a chance to see old Jiao in the future, she could talk about the 3 children so that they had some common topics. Jiao Dongliang had moved away for more than a year and a half now. No matter how stupid Ding Jiyi was, she knew clearly what could be said and not said in front of Jiao Dongliang. She knew what type of content would make Jiao Dongliang happy and which name she mentioned would make Jiao Dongliang fall out with her immediately. The latter was undoubtedly Jiao Zijin, Ding Jiyi's favorite daughter. The former was Jiao Nan and her 3 children. People's preferences were hard to change. Furthermore, Ding Jiyi's level of hatred of Jiao Nan was so high. She couldn't talk to Jiao Dongliang about Jiao Zijin lest he became angry. However, if she talked about Jiao Nan, she would be angry herself. After making a summary, Ding Jiyi realized that the triplets were the only safe topic between her and Jiao Dongliang. The others were just minefields. In order to avoid harming each other, she hoped to use some topics to enhance their husband-wife relationship. Ding Jiyi's best choice was naturally the 3 children. Speaking of the 3 children, Ding Jiyi didn't know their names, let alone their looks or what kind of temper they had. The only thing she knew was that Jiao Nan was really more capable than her. Not only did she give birth to triplets, but it was even the combination of 2 sons and a daughter. She had looked forward to giving birth to sons her whole life but didn't manage to. However, Jiao Nan gave birth to 2 at one go. Ding Jiyi pulled back her thoughts and no longer thought about sons. Only if she knew more about the 3 children could there be more topics between her and Jiao Dongliang. Otherwise, she would only be qualified to listen and not have the chance to interject at all. You want to see the triplets? Jiao Nan looked at Ding Jiyi, guarded. What's the reason? Please don't tell her that Ding Jiyi missed the 3 children. She wouldn't believe a single word of it. If Ding Jiyi really liked her children, as a normal grandmother, would she not have seen them before when they were already 2 years old? Don't think that the 3 children were only 2 years old. They knew how to address everyone but their maternal grandmother. Your dad loves the 3 children. Jiao Nan's attitude was too obvious. Ding Jiyi had to suppress her excuse of loving and missing the 3 children. She was afraid that if she really said this, Jiao Nan would be unhappy and unwilling to let the 3 children meet her. As she was frightened, Ding Jiyi could only answer honestly that she was curious about the 3 children because of Jiao Dongliang's influence. Chapter 2436, Not Blessed, 1. She didn't carry any hopes for Ding Jiyi to begin with. Thankfully, the triplets didn't know about the existence of their maternal grandmother. Otherwise, Jiao Nan would feel uncomfortable in her heart if they kept calling for her. Anyway, the children and Ding Ji didn't care for each other. She didn't need to worry that the three children would feel hurt. After thinking for a while, Xiaonan didn't reject Ding Ji or promise her anything. She only used a different way to let Ding Ji have the chance to know more about the triplets' situation. Xiaonan took out her mobile. There were a bunch of photos of the three children in her mobile album. There were some of the three children playing, running, rolling, eating, and playing with water. Ding Ji could pretty much find the corresponding photos of what she thought of in Xiaonan's mobile. This is De Bao. This is Bao. San Bao is the only girl among the three children. De Bao and Bao know they are older brothers and will usually take care of San Bao. Look at this photo. San Bao is holding De Bao's favorite toy. The little girl has a bad temper and is pampered by everyone in the family. This toy was De Bao's at first. In order to provoke De Bao, she insisted on snatching it away from him. De Bao is good-tempered and gave his toy to San Bao. De Bao then played with another toy. There were so many people in the family who pampered San Bao. Xiaonan was the only exception. Xiaonan expressed that if she were to pamper San Bao like her parents-in-law, San Bao would become lawless. Besides her, Zai Sheng would also be fierce toward San Bao. It was a pity that Zai Sheng didn't have as much time and opportunity to take care of the three children at home as Xiaonan did. When Zai Sheng wasn't at home, Xiaonan could only play both the roles of a stern father and benevolent mother. Upon hearing Xiaonan talking about the three children happily, Ding Ji opened her mouth but suppressed the words that had reached her throat. Wasn't San Bao just a cheeky girl? They still had the cheek to give her the nickname of San Bao so that it was similar to their two sons. How was a girl as good as a son? A little wretched girl even dared to snatch a toy away from her biological brother. If she had seen this situation, she would have long lectured her. It was just that the Zai family wasn't the Chiao family. Ding Ji, an outsider, didn't have the right to say anything. The Zai family was willing to pamper their little granddaughter. This had nothing to do with Ding Ji. Ding Ji didn't need to make her presence known in the Zai family and shamelessly get involved in the Zai family's matters. Of course, it was also because Xiaonan's attitude toward Ding Ji had hardened recently that Ding Ji could only become softer. How would she dare to go against Xiaonan and say things that she didn't like to listen to? Ding Ji wasn't blind. One look at Xiaonan's expression and she knew that although Xiaonan was complaining verbally that San Bao was bad-tempered, she didn't mind it at all. On the contrary, she doted on her a lot. Aside from when San Bao snatched De Bao's toy away, did Xiaonan's tone sound a little disapproving. When Xiaonan mentioned that De Bao and Bao gave in to San Bao and took care of her often, Xiaonan didn't seem to object to this at all. What did children know? The reason why De Bao and Bao treated San Bao well must be because someone had taught them to do so. Undoubtedly, this person was Xiaonan, their biological mother. Ding Ji didn't dare to say anything. However, she secretly felt heartache for De Bao and Bao, her two grandsons. She felt that her two grandsons were as pitiful as her, being bullied by Xiaonan. They were in the same boat. Ding Ji couldn't help but think how good it would be if she had given birth to De Bao and Bao and Xiao Zijin and Xiaonan weren't her daughters. She, De Bao, and Bao weren't lucky. She couldn't have two good-looking sons. These two children also didn't have the blessing to be born to her and receive her care and love. These were their photos when they were 1 year old. Photos earlier than these would only be stored on my home computer. There is limited space in my mobile's memory. It can be full easily with just a couple of photos or videos. It was only because Xiaonan was so immersed in her children's charms that she could talk so much to Ding Ji. As she looked through the photos of her children's daily lives, Xiaonan felt like she was reviewing their growth process. She enjoyed it so much that she didn't remember to hate Ding Ji. What else do you want to know? You can tell me. I'll let you know now. In short, Ding Ji didn't even need to think about meeting the triplets, let alone meet them. She didn't want her 3 children to suffer the same pain as she had under Ding Ji. Even if De Bao and Er Bao were boys which she liked, based on the fact that they were born to her, Xiao Nan knew that Ding Ji would dislike De Bao and Er Bao as they had a mother like her, whom she hated. No matter where her 3 children went, there were always people vying to hug them and get closer to them. On what basis should she let the 3 children return to their grandmother's house so that Ding Ji could roll her eyes at them? Don't think that the children were young and didn't know anything. In reality, children's smartness could exceed adults' imagination at times. Children were sensitive and could always feel who treated them well and who disliked them at the first instance. They would also know how to pursue good fortune and avoid disasters. Xiao Nan didn't want to let her 3 children have an opportunity to be exposed to this at Ding Ji's. The 3 children could be happier and the rate that they were growing could be slowed down. I want to listen to the 3 children's voices. Ding Ji hesitated for a while. She could only give up after confirming that it was impossible for Xiao Nan to let her see the 3 children. She used her IQ and tried to think of the topics that she could chat with Xiao Dongliang as much as possible, then grasped those entry points well and mastered the content of the chat. She couldn't possibly be speechless and stop the conversation when Xiao Dongliang was speaking with fervor on a topic that she brought up. If such a situation were to happen, she might as well not contact old Xiao in the first place. If the 2 of them lost contact for a long time, old Xiao couldn't possibly hate her so badly that he didn't want to see her face at all, just like when he first left home. If she managed to contact him but old Xiao felt that she was helpless as she still refused to realize her error and couldn't even like the 3 cute children, their relationship would definitely worsen. After Ding Ji made the request, Xiao Nan would always think of ways to satisfy Ding Ji as long as she didn't get to meet the 3 children in reality. Chapter 2437, Not Blessed, 2. Didn't Xiao Nan record videos of the 3 children playing and learning? Weren't there images and sounds if she showed these contents to Ding Ji? Thankfully, Xiao Nan was obsessed with her children. The photos in her mobile were all of her children. There was nothing of her or Zai Sheng. Who would have thought that a person who loved to take photos with her mobile didn't even have a photo of her and her husband in it? However, the couple had a great relationship and people couldn't help but envy. After playing 2 videos for Ding Ji and calculating the time, Xiao Nan felt that it was about right. If she was any later, the 3 children, who were in an unfamiliar environment, would probably be anxious to find her. Xiao Nan kept her mobile. I have to go. If you have any questions, you can ask me next time. I'll see how much I can help you. Alright. No matter how unwilling Ding Ji was, she had gotten Xiao Nan to accompany her for 10 minutes. Xiao Nan had returned today. Those old neighbors of Ding Ji, who were unwilling to see her without consequences, were about to start a gambling game. They were betting if Xiao Nan would still be willing to visit Ding Ji once she returned. If Xiao Nan was forced by some reason and had compromised to visit Ding Ji, how long would she stay in the Xiao family? Everyone guessed that it was either Xiao Nan didn't return to the quad, or if she did, she would definitely visit Ding Ji, no matter if she was sincere about it or not. There was no choice. China placed importance on filial piety. No matter how bad Ding Ji was and how much she didn't deserve to have such a good daughter like Xiao Nan, she had given birth to her, allowing Xiao Nan to live to this day. This couldn't be changed. Xiao Nan still had to address Ding Ji as her mom and visit her whenever she should visit her. As such, there wasn't much suspense for the former question. Everyone didn't discuss this enthusiastically. However, everyone became more excited about the second question. Xiao Nan was born to Ding Ji. Zai Sheng wasn't. Zai Sheng and Xiao Nan didn't even invite Ding Ji to their wedding banquet when they got married previously. Zai Sheng didn't have to care about what Xiao Nan had to do. Indeed, only Xiao Nan returned to the Xiao family's courtyard. No one saw Zai Sheng, let alone the 3 children they gave birth to. Xiao Nan didn't bring her husband and 3 children to visit Ding Ji. In view of this situation, no one in the quad criticized Xiao Nan. It wasn't as if they didn't know what type of a person Ding Jiyi was. Ding Jiyi didn't even value Xiao Nan, her daughter. How would she really like Zai Sheng, her son-in-law, or even value the 3 children Xiao Nan gave birth to? If they, as old neighbors, had misunderstood or thought wrongly about Ding Jiyi, why was it that only Xiao Dongliang, her father, was busy when Xiao Nan gave birth to the 3 children? He first prepared this and that for his pregnant daughter, then packed his luggage and rushed to the capital to see Xiao Nan, who was about to give birth. Which biological mother wouldn't take care of her daughter in confinement and help her take care of her children after giving birth? Ding Jiyi was such an outlier. Xiao Nan had given birth to 3 children at once. However, it was as if nothing had happened, as Ding Jiyi didn't have any reaction at all. Everyone saw how in peace Ding Jiyi was during that period of time. It was as if Xiao Nan, who was pregnant at an older age, wasn't her daughter. Everyone was guessing that Ding Jiyi wouldn't be willing to spend her phone credit to call Xiao Dongliang and ask him about Xiao Nan's and the 3 children's situation, let alone visit Xiao Nan. It was obvious that Ding Jiyi hated one thing on account of another. As she didn't like Xiao Nan, she also hated the 3 children in Xiao Nan's stomach. In the face of a person like Ding Jiyi, everyone expressed understanding that Zai Sheng didn't acknowledge her as his mother-in-law and Xiao Nan wasn't willing to bring her 3 children to visit their grandmother. It was still that saying. Because of blood ties, Xiao Nan had to be restrained by kinship and kidnapped by morals. However, everyone's expectations of Zai Sheng and the 3 children weren't that harsh and demanding. The next question came. Xiao Nan didn't have much of a mother-daughter relationship with Ding Jiyi. Everyone also knew how much Ding Jiyi hated Xiao Nan. Under such circumstances, how long would Xiao Nan's visit to the Xiao family be? Some people guessed 1 minute. Some people guessed 3 minutes. However, everyone guessed that she wouldn't stay past 10 minutes. These people were just watching the excitement. Thus, they didn't complain about the crowd. However, some people joked that it was certain that Xiao Nan would return to visit Ding Jiyi. Xiao Nan was a good child to begin with. Ding Jiyi was the bad person. As such, Ding Jiyi might be unwilling to open the door to let Xiao Nan enter if she visited her. As she heard the content of these discussions, Ding Jiyi secretly became calculative in her heart. In the beginning, Ding Jiyi wanted to use the truth to prove to everyone that no matter how she treated Xiao Nan, she was still her mother. It was the same reasoning as to how her father was still her father. She would naturally let Xiao Nan enter. However, she was her mom. She had the right to punish Xiao Nan by making her stand outside the door for a while. This was the difference between her and Xiao Nan. Those who wanted to watch a good show? Sorry, but they were going to be disappointed. See? She deliberately didn't let Xiao Nan into the house. Xiao Nan could only stand outside the house and wait for her to open the door as if she was being punished. No matter how much of a miserable state she was in, with Xiao Nan as a daughter, she was much better than these old neighbors. Want to watch a good show? Wait for the next lifetime. It was a pity that Xiao Nan didn't cooperate in the end and this plan failed. Thankfully, Ding Jiyi had a backup plan. She had a preliminary understanding of the 3 children such that once she contacted Xiao Dongliang, she would definitely be able to have a good chat with him on the topics he was interested in. She also managed to get Xiao Nan to chat with her for more than 10 minutes. Those who made fun of her didn't get their way. The plan was still considered to be perfectly executed. When Xiao Nan expressed again that she had to go back, it was rare for Ding Jiyi to give her a smile. That's right. Your children are still young. They can't live without the care of their mother. When you and Zijin were young, I treated the both of you this way as well. How good! You're now a mother and even have 3 children. I wasn't calculative with you in the past. I believe that you would gradually rely on yourself to understand certain matters and feelings. Go back now. Don't make the 3 children anxious from waiting. Xiaonan couldn't help but change her face when she heard Ding Jiyi's words. It was only when Xiaonan was speaking and Ding Jiyi was listening could an illusion that the mother-daughter pair could get along well with each other be created. Chapter 2438, Not Blessed, 3. The problem was that once Ding Jiyi opened her mouth, the good atmosphere and feelings were completely destroyed. She didn't think about if Ding Jiyi really didn't understand or that she deliberately pretended not to understand. She let Ding Jiyi sell her character set up as a good mother. Anyway, it depended on Xiaonan if she wanted to care about her or not. It wasn't easy for Ding Jiyi to finally agree to let her go. Xiaonan was flustered from waiting as well. The moment Ding Jiyi opened her mouth, Xiaonan left her former residence in a hurry without a second word. Even if everyone was surprised about the situation today and how Xiaonan could talk to Ding Jiyi for more than 10 minutes, at least they didn't hear any quarrels before Xiaonan left. It was when they saw Xiaonan's back view, leaving quickly as if she had seen a ghost. Did everyone laugh? What was fake. Other things could be real or have the chance to become real. However, there wouldn't be a day that Xiaonan's and Ding Jiyi's mother-daughter relationship would be repaired. Mom. Once Xiaonan reached home, Sanbao was the first to pounce on her. She rubbed her face against her mom's thigh. Where did you go? Sanbao misses you. When Sanbao was obedient, she was definitely a likable child. She bent down, carried Sanbao up, and kissed her. Xiaonan's uncomfortable heart felt a little better. Mom misses the three of you as well. Sanbao, kiss me. As Xiaonan's words fell, Sanbao kissed her on both cheeks. After kissing, she was so happy that she kept giggling. This formed a stark contrast with half an hour ago, where she was angry with Zihua for kissing her. Zihua clutched her heart and started acting. No, I'm hurt. Sanbao, you've hurt Aunt. I also need a kiss from you to feel better. Come, give Aunt a kiss. Sanbao did a funny face at her aunt and wasn't deceived at all. She acted like a spoiled child and rubbed her face against her mom's neck. She also held her mom with two hands, refusing to let go. In an unfamiliar environment, even if her parents told them that this was their house as well, the three children more or less couldn't adapt well. In addition, the grandparents and auntie who had usually taken care of them the most weren't around. As such, when Xiaonan left for a longer period of time, the three children became uneasy. Not only did Sanbao cling to Xiaonan, but Dabao and Erbao also ran toward her, following her by the side. They ignored their aunt, who loved to act. Knowing that her three children were flustered, Xiaonan sat on the sofa and placed them next to her. She touched their heads, pinched their hands, and kissed their faces until they laughed. The three children were so obedient to Xiaonan. Zihua had the urge to vomit blood. No, I also want to kiss. I also want to kiss. She was the three children's aunt. They were related by blood. Why didn't they allow her to kiss them? Aunt's a big tiger. Mom, protect me. Sanbao screamed sharply and refused to let Zihua kiss her. She even said that Zihua was a big tiger who caught little children and hid behind Xiaonan. Dabao and Erbao also laughed and screamed. They hid behind Xiaonan with Sanbao. It was as if they were playing a game of the eagle catching the chicks. Xiaonan became the mother hen to protect the three children, stopping Zihua from bullying them. As they played, the three children's feelings of unease were suppressed well. In the face of this unfamiliar house, the three children no longer rejected it as obviously as before. However, with the triplets' uneasy performance, Xiaonan decided to let them sleep with her and Zai Sheng tonight. She was worried that they would be frightened if they had nightmares in the middle of the night and couldn't find her and Zai Sheng. Children who had just woken up were easily confused. They would have been frightened from the nightmare to begin with. When they wake up and see that they weren't at home, they couldn't help but wonder if they were abandoned by their parents. Zai Sheng naturally didn't object to Xiaonan's insistence. These 3 children were indeed capable of setting their dad up. However, who asked them to be his children? If he didn't dote on them, who would? He could only pamper them. Knowing that they could sleep with their parents tonight and their dad had agreed to it, the 3 children's mood became better. They suddenly felt that not only was this new home not scary, but it was pretty good, as they could sleep with their parents. No matter how much Zihua acted pitiful, pretended to cry, and insisted on sleeping with one of the triplets, the 3 children expressed that they weren't willing to be fooled. Their dad even responded rarely that whoever wanted to sleep with their aunt at this moment would be a fool. The 3 children might not know that opportunities do not wait. However, they had learned this themselves even without anyone's teaching. Seeing how the triplets were firmly attached to their parents and refused to let go, Zihua was so angry that she clutched her chest and scolded the 3 children for lacking conscience. They didn't sympathize with her at all. In the end, the 3 children called her softly before following their parents back to the room to sleep. They were also tired. Without much coaxing, the 3 children slept soundly and even started to snore. The hectic day was finally over. How was your trip back today? The children were asleep. It was naturally the time for Qiaonan and Zai Sheng to have conversations at night. They slept on the far side of the bed and guarded the 3 children between them. This made Zai Sheng want to hug his wife. In the end, he could only make do by hugging one of his sons. Qiaonan smiled. Qiao Zijin's leading a life with Chen Feng now. The Qiao family's courtyard hasn't changed. When there were 4 people living in this house, she always found it squeezy and that there were not enough rooms in the house. Now that she's alone, she knows how big the house is. Even if Ding Ji didn't like her, once she saw her return, how could she hide the emotional change in her eyes from Qiaonan? Qiaonan had long seen through her. She asked a lot of questions about the triplets and even wanted to meet them. I rejected her and dug out a bunch of photos and videos from my mobile for her. I think she wants to contact my dad and chat with him about the triplets so that they could have more common topics between them. In order to reconcile with her dad, Ding Ji was willing to try and use any method. Ding Ji had not given up yet after more than a year had passed. She was still trying ways to have a breakthrough. That's what she has in mind. After knowing what the other party was thinking, Zai Sheng's looks became better. Chapter 2439, Kiss Back, 1. He was used to Ding Ji asking for money or getting Qiaonan to help with things that she shouldn't be helping with. All of a sudden, Zai Sheng couldn't guess why Ding Ji didn't raise any overboard requests. In the minds of ordinary people, no matter who one was, one would grow and eventually have the day of regret and awakening. However, in the face of Ding Ji, Zai Sheng suspected that only when she was going to leave this world and meet Hades would she understand how much of a mess her life had been. Was there anything else? Anyway, when I left, her main energy and focus were all on my dad. She wanted to see the triplets and I showed her their photos and videos. After having topics she could chat about with my dad, she no longer mentioned this. Qiaonan was quite surprised that Ding Ji would care about Qiao Dongliang so much. She didn't mention wanting to see the triplets again, so she should have given up. Furthermore, we're going to leave with the triplets and go to the countryside tomorrow. When we return to Pingcheng again and after letting Jia take a look at them, we should be heading back to the capital. If they didn't, she was afraid her parents-in-law in the capital would come over soon. Are you prepared to care about their matters? No. Qiaonan lay down and said without thinking, I don't care if they want to be together or separate. I'm not going to persuade them either. As long as they have thought about it, I'll be supportive. She was already married and had a family of her own. As such, Qiaonan really didn't care much about Qiao Dongliang's and Ding Ji's relationship. They could do whatever they liked. As the 3 children grew older, their temper and character became more prominent. She was already busy taking care of them. How would she have time to care so much about Ding Ji and Qiao Dongliang? If her dad suddenly felt that it was meaningless to live alone and wanted to return to be with Ding Ji, she, who was far away in the capital, couldn't stop him anyway. Similarly, if her dad didn't have this intention, was she going to join the excitement and help Ding Ji then? Facts had proven several times that if Ding Ji's days were going well, her days were going to get miserable. It was better for Ding Ji to be unlucky than herself. If she had to choose one out of the two, Qiao Nan didn't hesitate to choose a path that was better for her. It was rare for Qiao Nan to make a trip back. Ding Ji also knew that Qiao Nan wouldn't stay for long in Pingcheng as Zai Yaowai and Miaojing didn't come back together with Qiao Nan. As such, Ding Ji still had some plans for Qiao Nan's temporary return. After Qiao Zijin moved out, Ding Ji's life in the quad was really boring. The best was for Qiao Dongliang to return, of course. The two of them could continue to lead their lives together. She really wasn't going to kick up a fuss or create trouble again this time. Whatever old Qiao said in the future would be it. If old Qiao still refused to return, Ding Ji actually wanted to live in a different environment. It would be best if she could stay next to Qiao Dongliang. Ding Ji didn't have any extra money in her pockets. Over the years, no matter how much Qiao Nan gave her, she would give all of them to Qiao Zijin. Of course, without Qiao Nan's help, Ding Ji could only think about moving house. She couldn't execute it. Furthermore, she was hoping to be neighbors with Qiao Dongliang. If she didn't rely on Qiao Nan to make arrangements for her, how would she be able to live next to Qiao Dongliang? The only thing that Ding Ji miscalculated was that Qiao Nan left the quad with her husband and 3 children early the next morning. It was unknown where they went. Initially, Ding Ji was prepared to go to the southern quad personally to find Qiao Nan. With yesterday's contact as a foundation, Qiao Nan shouldn't reject her if she entered the southern quad again today. However, before she said anything, the person on guard told her directly that Qiao Nan's family of 5 had left early that morning. Since her daughter wasn't inside, Ding Ji had to find her daughter in another way. Upon hearing the news, Ding Ji was so angry that her face turned green. Qiao Nan had taken her mobile out in front of Ding Ji yesterday. Back then, Ding Ji had thought that there was still a chance tomorrow and hadn't asked her for her mobile number, lest she angered her and would have nothing by then. However, Qiao Nan left so unexpectedly. Ding Ji couldn't recover in time and was stunned. She was so angry that she wanted to scold Qiao Nan for being a wretched girl lacking conscience. It hadn't been a day since they were back. Before they returned, she didn't inform her in advance. This time, she left so secretly as if afraid that she would leave with them and pester them. She, Ding Ji, wasn't so thick-skinned, all right? Wasn't Qiao Nan too overboard? What Ding Ji unable to accept was the fact that Qiao Nan's thoughts were so bad and that the action of a chief's wife was like that of a thief. As a man, didn't Zai Sheng want to manage Qiao Nan at all? With a wife like Qiao Nan, wasn't Zai Sheng afraid of being embarrassed, laughed at, or letting others catch a handle on him? She remembered that when old Qiao was in the army, a lot of people paid attention to people with character problems. If they were really found, they would be kicked out of the army without a word. There was no room for discussion at all. Zai Sheng was also in the army. Even if he was already the chief, such requirements should be unified. How would a person like Qiao Nan, who was unfilial even toward her biological mother, not hold Zai Sheng up? It was impossible for Zai Sheng not to be angry at Qiao Nan or manage her. This didn't make sense. Regarding reason, Ding Ji would never be able to understand. The only thing that Ding Ji understood was that Qiao Nan came in a hurry and left in a hurry, causing her to not say a single word of the words she had prepared the night before. In the face of Qiao Nan's departure, aside from angering herself such that she couldn't have a meal, Ding Ji couldn't do anything else. She couldn't even find someone to scold. At this time, Qiao Nan had already brought her husband and the 3 children to the destination. In the process of climbing the mountain, the adults had carried the 3 children up the entire time. It was still alright for Qiaonan as she only had to take care of Sanbao. She even used a basket to carry her up. As a man, Zai Sheng naturally had to carry both sons and a pile of supplies on his back. This trip exhausted the family of 5. The 3 children might not be so realistic yet. However, they knew that the place they came to today was completely different from where they had lived and seen. The roads today were much harder to climb than those slides they used to play with. They definitely couldn't climb up. Chapter 2440, Kiss Back, 2. Even their formidable parents were breathing hard and sweating a lot. Upon looking at the dark house that wasn't as clean as their families, Sanbao hugged Qiaonan's thigh, feeling uncomfortable. She refused to let go. "Mom, it's dark." Sanbao's afraid. To be honest, she had really led a good life. Initially, Qiaonan couldn't adapt either, let alone the 3 children. Even if she wasn't married and had to rent a house outside, no matter how poor her conditions were, she didn't need to live in a mud house. Not much cement was used, let alone limestone. Upon looking at such a house, Qiaonan secretly felt that it was tough. If she didn't guess wrongly, they would have to stay under such conditions for 2 to 3 nights. Don't be afraid. As a mother, Qiaonan naturally had to comfort the 3 children. Dad and Mom will accompany you to sleep these few days. With us around, Sanbao doesn't have to be afraid no matter how dark it gets. Yes. Upon hearing that they could still sleep with their parents, the 3 children's nervous faces relaxed slightly. Qiaonan looked at Zai Sheng. "Brother Zai, I remember you brought a flashlight, right? Is there enough battery?" Qiaonan more or less looked like she could neither laugh nor cry. There was electricity in this mountainous area. However, she heard that it would be cut off at times, especially in the dark. Sanbao was afraid of the dark. If she woke up, it was very necessary to have a flashlight shining. Yes, this isn't an issue. Upon hearing about the mountainous environment, Zai Sheng prepared all the tools for illumination. He had more experience than Qiaonan. As such, he had prepared everything. Qiaonan didn't need to worry about it. After getting an affirmative answer, Qiaonan heaved a sigh of relief. When they were at home, she felt that she had the ability to take care of the 3 children. However, after stepping out of the house, she couldn't do without Zai Sheng's help if they wanted to take care of the 3 children well. It was also at this time that Qiaonan realized that although Zai Sheng usually didn't talk much, he had really helped her a lot. It was really her biggest blessing to be married to such a good man. It was also the 3 children's blessing. There was no choice. After encountering a father like Qiao Dongliang, Qiaonan, as a mother who loved children, naturally placed importance on the right kind of father for her children. She didn't want to be Dingji. She naturally also didn't want her other half to be a man like Qiao Dongliang. Thankfully, she indeed didn't become the second Dingji. Zai Sheng and Qiao Dongliang were people from 2 different worlds as well. Such a life was really happy. If it was said that she had to wait until she was 40 years old before she met Zai Sheng and that she had to pay such a long-term price for her blissful late marriage, Qiaonan expressed that she didn't suffer a loss for marrying only when she was 40 years old. Instead, she and her 3 children had earned. Meeting Zai Sheng was her biggest blessing in this lifetime. This blessing could make up for all the unequal treatment she had suffered in her previous life. As she thought about this, Qiaonan felt her heart became relaxed. Even when she thought about Ding Ji again, she no longer had that anger and injustice she felt before. She obviously knew what Ding Ji was up to. She insisted to be at odds with her and wasn't willing for Ding Ji to lead a good life. To be honest, Ding Ji's current situation was no different from being forsaken. She had 2 daughters and a husband. None of them was close to Ding Ji. Even if Qiaonan had let bygones be bygones and wasn't willing to dwell in the past, and she only wanted to lead her life well and groom the 3 children, she wasn't prepared to influence Qiao Zijin and Qiao Dongliang about their attitudes toward Ding Ji. She could control her own thoughts and actions, but not others. Everything was caused by Ding Ji herself. No one could help her take responsibility for her life. After letting bygones be bygones, what Ding Ji's life was in the future depended on how much virtue she had accumulated. What happened? Upon feeling that Qiao Nan had changed, Zai Sheng walked over. Are you not used to it? If you aren't used to it, it would be enough for us to grasp the situation today and tomorrow. When night falls, we can head out. Zai Sheng was a soldier. No matter how bad the environment was, Zai Sheng had lived in it before. Zai Sheng had adapted well by himself. However, he was extremely nervous about his wife and children. He didn't make unreasonable demands like wanting them to adapt to this kind of environment as well as he did. Without mentioning his wife, Zai Sheng's thoughts about his children were that as long as they didn't go astray and become good-for-nothings, it was good enough. They should be upright, kind, and fight hard for everything. Zai Sheng never had the thought of wanting his children to suffer to prove how good they were. If not for Qiao Nan's request, Zai Sheng wouldn't have brought his wife and children to a place with such a poor environment, causing the 4 people he loved most to suffer. He didn't want his children to grow astray and be corrupted by material life. However, there wasn't a need to use such an extreme method and send his children to such an environment to endure hardship. To be honest, if he wanted to train his children to be good, he could just throw them into the army. No matter how bad the child was, they could still be taken care of and wouldn't dare to create much trouble in the future. At this moment, he felt that his wife wasn't adapting well. However, the road to go down the mountain wasn't easy. The light conditions were worse now, making it more difficult to go down the mountain. If they couldn't stay here tonight, Zai Sheng felt he could send his wife and children down the mountain. No, as she lay in Zai Sheng's arms, Qiao Nan laughed. I just feel that the triplets are really blessed to have a good father like you. Thankfully, the father I found for them is you. As he hugged Qiao Nan, Zai Sheng smiled. Yes, you have great taste. You found me to be their father. You couldn't do this alone. Zai Sheng felt that he fully deserved the praise and didn't plan to be humble. What problem was there for him to dote on his own wife and children? In your next lifetime, regardless of in your dream or outside your dream, don't rush to get married. You have to wait for me. I feel that I won't be in a hurry as well and will always be waiting for you. Even if he and Chu Chenxi were married before, that marriage was just a formality. It wasn't an official marriage. The person he was always waiting for was still Nan Nan. It wouldn't be someone else. Qiao Nan smiled even more brightly. Yes. She would wait. She would continue waiting until Zai Sheng's appearance. Only then would she dare to hand her life into this man's hands. If it were someone else, she wouldn't have the courage and guts.